all you literary legends and luminaries. I'm Julie, and welcome to another episode of Write Smart. Today's episode, we're looking for more inspiration, and that we're going to try to find with Richard Russo's Life and Art essays. I was a little bit disappointed in this relatively short book about life and art. First of all, I know of Richard Russo. The name is familiar, but I haven't read any of his fiction. I know the movie Nobody's Fool, but didn't watch it. I tried watching Empire Falls, but I couldn't get into it. But in my quest to write better and to be inspired more, I thought a book from an established author and screenwriter that was about life and the art of writing would be the perfect book for me to read. I can't say it did too much for me. First of all, it's more political than I had anticipated. I stay away from political books because I think both extremes have lost their minds and I don't care to read about any of it. I read to escape, not to be reminded of all the insanity. I don't mind a little bit, but anything more than a couple of references and I start to get kind of prickly. But he did come to a fascinating conclusion, and so let me read you this. And so bear with me here. But I just kind of liked what he said. So he's talking about the pandemic, and he's talking about how he was so happy to be able to be sent home to just write, but that didn't fare as well for others. And so here's what he says. So in other words, what stands in the way of selling the life of the mind to well-intentioned folks like these, now as in 16th century Stratford, is a toxic mix of ignorance and, yes, love. Having been denied the luxury of reflection themselves and doubting that it can be monetized, such parents often consider the arts and humanities as well as many of the social sciences a waste of time and money. Where is the margin, they wondered, in pondering the meaning of life when we're put here to live it? If asked, they would doubtless agree with Adam Grant and my father that life's greatest joys are communal in nature, inextricably connected to work, to sports, to church, to neighborhood, to region, all of which, as many have pointed out, were under stress long before the pandemic. The virus didn't just lock people down, like me for some time had secretly been hoping to be sent home and told to stay there. It also sent into isolation millions of others who'd grown accustomed to a wide variety of distractions that were suddenly no longer available to them. No wonder so many of them disappeared down social media rabbit holes that provided not just community, but moral certainty. Ugh, that's a doozy. And he does make some just profound insights into human behavior throughout the book. So aside from the political muck and the current events that happened during and shortly after the pandemic, Russo writes quite a bit about his parents. At first I found these essays compelling and intriguing, but then in subsequent essays, he repeats the exact same ideas. It's annoying. I just read about them. I don't need to read the same ideas again. Now, in his defense, Russo may have expected his readers to read his book in little chunks. I was getting my roots done, and that's a 3-hour process, so I almost finish a book, depending upon length and how much I have already read, in the time it takes to dye my hair. Cut it and blow dry it, and I also do some sort of deep conditioning, which sends me under the hairdryer for like another 15 minutes. Life and Art was not a good choice for my 3-hour root fix. It was like binge watching Bob's Burgers. Not funny enough to watch multiple episodes in a row, but the kind of thing you watch when there's nothing else on and you do want to laugh when Linda names one of the raccoons Big Baby Pudding Snatcher. What I liked about Russo was his subtlety. His books are about life and the people in it, realistic in their conflicts and tragedies. He shows the reader how the town he grew up in shaped his future novels. He writes about stealing ideas, not totally, and using people to shape characters. He wrote a memoir about his mom after she died, which I may read because his writing and insights did intrigue me. It's just I didn't close the book and say, wow, that really inspired me to write. Russo uses lengthy paragraphs and has a tendency to write, as I stated previously, and I hate that. Trust your readers will remember, and if they don't, that's either on them or you didn't write about it memorably enough. But with how he came to write his fiction, drawing so much from his life, I might read a memoir of his. So was Life and Art worth the read? Don't read it while you're getting your roots done, that's for sure. But if you are intrigued with how writers come up with their ideas and how they use their past and present experiences in their stories, Life and Art is worth the read. Because as Russo wrote in his book, in the end, we tell stories because we must. Thanks for watching. As always, my goal at Write Smart is to get a little bit smarter one book at a time.